I just finished editing and posting yesterday's vlog, and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It ended up being super cute. Because I didn't take any direct video footage, I knew that I was going to not have that, but I was planning on doing voiceovers. But as I kind of put the clips together and threw in the music and stuff like that, I realized that I actually really liked it without it. And while I was watching, it even made me kind of emotional. I was like, just like documenting my life like that, and seeing and viewing, observing my life from a third-party view feels meaningful. You know, it's a video journal. What a concept. But yeah, anyways, I just really enjoyed it, and I'm having a lot of fun with this process. So I'm just really quickly going to share the things that I've learned vlogging for a week now. It's not very long, but I think because of that, because it is a short time window, that it'll be interesting to share what I've learned thus far, because I already have learned things. One, I just have fun being creative, thinking creatively about how I might show something or how I might piece things together later. So I like kind of like having this run in the back of my mind, like what I'm going to be doing with it later. I feel like it's a really cool way to be engaged with a process, but also with my life too, because it's like, how can I share this in a way that's interesting but also authentic? Nothing I've done so far have I like gone out of the way to make it interesting. Like, this has just legitimately been my life. So yes, I'm having fun with the creative process, thinking ahead, like as I go about my day. Ooh, I could film this, or oh, I could show this from this angle. It's all things that I haven't had to do before. I haven't had to use my brain or my creativity like that. So I'm really enjoying that. Similarly, I'm enjoying the creative process on the back end, on the, what is that, post-production or something? I don't know these terms, but during the editing portion, I'm really enjoying that. I kind of mentioned that about yesterday's video, where I didn't really have an exact idea of what I was going to do. I knew that I was going to have to do some voiceover, or I thought I was going to have to do some voiceover because I hadn't sat down with the camera. But what I ended up doing was I just kind of, like, in the moment decided, oh, I don't actually want to do that. It's kind of cool to just string these things together with music and no talking and just allow the viewer to observe. It felt like it had an artistic quality to me. You know, who knows if it actually does, but again, at this point, I don't care. It's just all kind of like what feels good to me. So that was something that I hadn't pre-planned. It was spur of the moment, just kind of like go with the flow. And that felt really good. I wasn't like freaking out yesterday or anything because I was like, oh my God, I like didn't film enough or anything like that. It was just like, whatever, I'll show what I got. And that's also part of the magic of not putting any real expectations on what I'm showing. You know, like for these 30 days of Vloguary, I just had the intention and the commitment of showing up and sharing any video. I mean, like, if I were to share 60 seconds of video of me saying, I don't have anything to talk about today, here's my video, and posted that, I would satisfy my requirements. Because again, if you watch the earlier videos, the whole idea of this is just to work the muscle of showing up, editing, and posting a video. And then, let me try to think. I feel like I had another thing. Oh, one thing that's interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily as much of like what I've learned as much as just something I'm noticing, which is that I'm a week in and I'm enjoying being committed to something. I'm enjoying not having the option of showing up. And this is something that I have worked with on clients and is kind of baked into my programs, is that ironically, we feel like we want and would prefer the freedom to choose. However, the caveat here is, while that may sometimes be true, other times you actually leak energy when you don't have a clear set thing to do. So like the clearest example of this, which we all pretty much know as like living in this time, is decision fatigue. So something like Netflix, choosing off of a large menu. I have clients and friends who have struggled with this in the past. So if you feel similarly the same, it's not a surprise. So this is kind of a similar thing in that when you go through a day and you have to decide what you're doing, you are either consciously or unconsciously or both, usually it's a combination of both, leaking energy throughout the day because you have to figure those things out. That takes energy to figure out what to do. So when you're committed to something, although that feels like it could be limiting, it actually frees up energy because you don't have to decide. You just know that you're doing it. And so you show up and do it. So that's been a positive. On the flip side of that though, what I've noticed is that I have started to have some fears creep in of, what if I can't make it 30 days? I've made it a handful of days and I'm proud of myself for that and it feels really good and I'm enjoying the process, but what if I don't make it? Because I've let myself down before. Not once, not twice, but many times when it comes to committing to something and not fully following through. Now, I will say that I haven't fully committed to a lot of things, which gives myself the out, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about with that. And that was part of this 30-day thing for me, is I'm committing to showing up each and every day. Like there is no question, like I'm putting up a video every single day. But with that comes the fear of like, well, yeah, what if I don't? What if I forget one day? What if I feel awful one day? What, like who knows what happens? And I'm like, no, I'm committing to doing this. And while, you know, there's extenuating circumstances, the point of this for me is to show myself that I can show up no matter what. If I commit to something, I'm going to do it. So noticing that fear come up of like, yeah, well, what if you can't? What if you don't actually do it? What if on day 30, you're sick as a dog and you can't make it to, you know, filming and sharing on YouTube? Like feeling that feeling of letting myself down is terrifying. And again, that may sound dramatic, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'll kind of leave that there, but I wanted to share that because I noticed it more on like day 4 or 5. Like after I had already done a few days, I was like, okay, this is good. I'm doing this. I have like a flow here. It started to creep in, just be like, oh yeah, well, anybody can do 3 or 4 days of anything, and that's always how it goes. You know, that's when you keep the energy. What happens when it's not as fun 2 weeks from now? It's not brand new. You don't feel as good. You get a job and your schedule is really busy. So yeah, those are all things that I have been feeling, but overall, these are the things that I've learned so far. And yeah, I'm just like really finding interesting. So I will continue to pay attention to this and probably share more on this as I go. If you have any questions about this process for me, if you've experienced things similarly to the things that I've shared, either my learnings or my fears, I would love to know from you. I think we can all get better when we're in this together. It's the reason that I'm sharing in this way, that I am excited about this channel. I'm excited about connecting with you. I would love to hear your experiences, your thoughts. Shoot them down below, and I'll talk to you soon.